On the morning of July 20th, 2020, rookie Cleveland police officer Bailey Gannon shot his partner, screaming as he fled in panic down a flight of stairs from a man who was neither chasing nor threatening him. Gannon pointed his gun over his head in the opposite direction he was running and began firing blindly behind him. One of his bullets hit his partner, whom he had just run right past. That was the opening paragraph of a federal civil rights lawsuit just filed by Cleveland police officer Jennifer Kilnapp against her former partner as well as the city of Cleveland. So this is a police shooting case, an excessive force case from one cop against another cop. Can a police officer who is unintentionally shot by another police officer sue the government for a civil rights violation? Unfortunately, I can answer that one, but first, here's a portion of the body cam footage. You can see the full clip along with the full federal civil rights complaint at the website at thecivilrightslawyer.com.
Get him out of my house. Get him out. Hurry. They're here.
What number did you say he's in?
Four. My door's open.
He's got a gun?
4. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. He's got a gun. He's in here. They're here.
Who are you talking to?
The police.
Oh, okay. Okay.
4. Please. Come on. He's upstairs. They're here. Moose? Moose?
What's that?
The bathroom's behind us. The bathroom door. Right here.
Get back!
The bullet that struck Officer Jennifer Kilnapp ended up lodging in her spine. Investigators almost immediately concluded that it was probably her partner, Officer Gannon, who had shot her. Despite that knowledge, the Division of Police in Cleveland and Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office instead charged the suspect, Daryl Borden, with attempted murder, falsely claiming that he shot Kilnapp. These charges would be quietly dropped almost a year later. He still went to prison, though. More on that in a minute. Investigators determined that Officer Gannon lied about the shooting. Despite this, he received no discipline for lying, much less for shooting his partner. Unbelievably, 3 months after the shooting, the city of Cleveland rated Officer Gannon's overall performance as, quote, exceeding expectations, referring to shooting his partner as merely a, quote, minor setback. This probably had nothing to do with the fact that Gannon's father was a sergeant with the Cleveland Division of Police. Remember, Officer Gannon was a rookie cop. He entered field patrol as an officer in January of 2020 and shot his partner on July 20th of 2020. So before the first year was even out, he was, quote, exceeding expectations. Now, in the early hours of July 20th, 2020, these two officers, Kilnapp and Gannon, responded to a call on the east side of Cleveland, alleging that there was an emotionally disturbed man with a gun on the second floor of the boarding home he was staying in. There had been no report of the man shooting at anyone or otherwise being physically violent. Now, this is according to the allegations in the lawsuit. The information released publicly at the time by the prosecutor's office was that the man had shot through the floor at the 911 caller prior to the law enforcement arrival. Perhaps that was false, which wouldn't be surprising given everything else now that we know about this story. Looking at the body cam footage, I don't see where there's any allegation of the man actually shooting through the floor. So after learning the man, Daryl Borden, was in this second floor bathroom, the two officers went upstairs to the hallway. Gannon then took the lead and stood offset from the bathroom door with Kilnapp in a position a few feet behind him. The staircase was between Gannon and Kilnapp. Gannon did not knock and announce their presence as police officers. Gannon did not ask Borden to come out of the bathroom. Still in the bathroom, Borden made no threatening statements to the officers or in their presence. The lawsuit alleges that rather than taking any other steps such as de-escalation, withdrawing, establishing a perimeter, attempting surveillance of the bathroom, waiting for Borden to come out, or calling for backup or assistance, instead, Gannon decides to open that bathroom door. According to the lawsuit's allegation, when Gannon does open the door, Borden was standing there, apparently holding a firearm pointed downwards at his side in one hand. Borden took no steps towards Gannon nor made any threatening gestures or statements. Gannon did not order Borden to drop his weapon. He didn't order him to do anything. Instead, he panics. He spins backwards out of the doorway, out of sight of Borden. Borden still took no action. Officer Gannon then ran away towards the stairs. Borden didn't follow him or even flee, but rather stayed in the bathroom. Officer Kilnapp, Borden's partner, was standing near the top of the stairs. Gannon bolted down these stairs, screaming as he fled. As he ran, Gannon pointed his gun over his head behind him in the opposite direction he was running and began shooting blindly behind him. One of these bullets hits Kilnapp as she stood near the top of the stairs. Gannon's body cam footage shows him running away while Kilnapp yells after him, I'm shot, don't leave me." Kilnapp filed this lawsuit on July 13, 2022, which discloses that Gannon never even apologized to his partner for shooting her. So the investigation team created several diagrams showing the bullet trajectory that injured Kilnapp. So Diagram 1 is an overhead view of the staircase, hallway, and bathroom. This shows that one of Gannon's bullets, marked by a yellow line, was fired through the bathroom wall near the top of the staircase on a slight downward angle, meaning that he must have been holding his gun above his head when he fired as he was running away. Now, Diagram 2 shows Officer Kilnapp's approximate vantage point when Gannon began shooting, as well as the path of Borden's bullets when he reacted to Gannon opening fire. This shows the investigators' conclusion that no bullets fired by Borden even traveled in the direction of Officer Kilnapp. Gannon initially had claimed to investigators that when he opened the door, Borden was holding a gun in two hands and pointing it at the door. The lawsuit alleges, however, that Gannon's body cam footage shows this claim to be a lie. So take a look at the screenshot of the door the moment the door opens. So if you look at this still shot, the moment the body cam footage on Gannon shows the bathroom door opening, you can see that Borden's left arm appears to be pointed away from Gannon, towards Borden's right. Therefore, it was clearly false to claim that both of Borden's hands were pointed towards the door at the moment it opened. So despite having evidence that it was Gannon, police officer, who shot Kilnapp, a July 31st, 2020 press release from the prosecutor's office claimed that Borden fired multiple shots at officers, striking Officer Kilnapp. Those charges, again, would be dismissed around a year later. So what ended up happening to Mr. Borden? Well, he was given a 7 to 10 year prison term by a Cuyahoga County judge for attempted felonious assault of a police officer and using a gun in the commission of that crime. And in September of 2021, a federal judge tacked on yet another 5 years of incarceration for Mr. Borden for federal firearms-related charges, since he was a felon in possession of a firearm in the first place. Now, ironically, in March of 2021, the CDP suspended Officer Kilnapp. Now, not Gannon, we're talking about Kilnapp. Suspended her for her involvement in this incident on the grounds that she forgot to turn on her body cam before entering the house on the night of the shooting. To the contrary, the CDP took absolutely no disciplinary action against Gannon for shooting blindly through a wall while running away from a suspect, shooting his partner in the process. Can one officer sue another officer for a civil rights violation for accidentally shooting each other. So this scenario actually happened here in West Virginia back in 2009, and I was involved in some of the litigation. It was a tragic case. There was a vehicle pursuit that ended in multiple police officers surrounding a suspect's vehicle with the suspect still at the wheel. Several police officers began firing at the driver. One of the bullets ended up hitting and killing a Charleston Police Department officer accidentally, or rather negligently. The officer's widow sued, which was ultimately unsuccessful. Why? Well, the Fourth Amendment protects the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. In order to be seized within the meaning of the Fourth Amendment, one must have been the intended object of physical restraint by a state actor. The U.S. Supreme Court has held that the Fourth Amendment's specific protection against unreasonable seizures of the person does not, by definition, extend to unintentionally injured bystanders. So the case we had here in West Virginia, this was Jones versus City of Charleston from 2012, and that held that since the colleague police officer in that case wasn't intentionally shot by the police officer who had fired, that no Fourth Amendment seizure could occur. In other words, even a negligent use of a firearm by a police officer can fall short of being legally considered excessive force, assuming the victim was unintentionally shot by the police officer. So, in this case, there could be other potential theories of liability, which is probably the best hope for Officer Kilnapp in this case. There could be state law claims based on negligence or a recklessness standard. However, it doesn't appear that any were alleged here in this lawsuit. There may be some meat to the argument that Officer Gannon's actions that day were possibly attributed to training or supervisory issues, but it would probably be a stretch, in my opinion, to attribute this to the CPD's overall use of force policy issues, whatever they are, since Gannon obviously wasn't following any sane policy if he's running away from the suspect, shooting blindly behind him through a solid wall. Sadly, unless this case settles, I don't see a realistic path to liability here. But I hope I'm wrong, because there really should be accountability for someone being wrongfully shot by another individual, whether police officer or not. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, both here on the website at thecivilrightslawyer.com.